Well, hey everyone, and happy Sunday. At least I hope it's a Sunday. I'm planning to release this on a Sunday, so happy Sunday, and welcome to part 4 of the Winter Chalet speed build. I've been seeing so many comments of you guys thinking that I'm done posting this build, and in all fairness, no, it's not done yet. Trust me, it's not. We still have like, what, 3 more parts, I think, or 4. I actually don't know yet fully. But we do have quite a lot of parts left, so don't worry. It's just me being late, as always. Am I glad to finally be recording this? Yes. Am I glad that I'm recording this so late? No. But we already know that. I mean, I kind of say this a lot, especially in my voiceovers. It's just, it's July, I'm posting a winter build. No, it's not July, it's June. I am posting a winter build in June, and, but that's what we do on this channel. Well, that's what I do. But I mean, technically, with the whole weather change, you can technically build even like a winter build in summer in Bloxburg if you want, because you can change the grass color and then it will be snowy. So, yeah, there's that. I do want to apologize though for the background noise if you can hear any, because it is July and it is very hot outside. So, in order for me to somehow stay alive, I do need to have my window open just so I don't die out of heat. Like, I don't know, one thing that I actually cannot stand in this life is heat. Partially because I'm used to the colder weather, yes, but it's just heat. Who likes it? I mean, okay, there are people who like it, not me though. It's kind of ironic that I'm talking about heat in like a winter build, because in Bloxburg you actually need a coat to not be cold. But yeah, for me right now, I'm dying from heat. So it's just birds are very loud, but I remember that last summer I had the same issue and I just couldn't really do anything about it. So I hope that you guys won't mind too much. Just, maybe I don't even need to use any music in the background. It's just the birds could be like music. No, I'm kidding. Of course not. Well, maybe if you guys want to. But yeah, when it comes to the speed build though, I'll be working on the interior. I think I'll do the foyer, the living room, the kitchen, and I think I'll do the TV room even. So it's basically just gonna be the main living spaces. I think in the next part I'll be working on the master suite. So yeah, we're nearing the end of this build finally. It is a huge mansion. I think this build took me around 2 months if I can remember correctly. But I think I'm repeating myself because I've definitely mentioned this in a previous voiceover, but to this day, this build is still my favorite one I've ever made. So far, nothing has beaten this build. Maybe it's just the size, I don't know. I remember trying really hard for this build and I'm like so proud of how it all came out. I mean, it's a 3-story mansion, so. And I made sure that each room just matched the aesthetic of the house, which isn't even something I do with smaller houses. Yeah, I don't know, but like this house, it was definitely worth it. It was worth the 2 months that it took me to build this, and yeah, it's worth to spend hours recording these voiceovers and just talking about this build. I don't know, I really like it, but I guess you can already tell. But yeah, I guess I could talk about a little bit about the design that I wanted to achieve with this foyer / living space. So, like, from the start, when I think of a cabin, I always know that there's that big room, that a huge room with these big windows where you can see the entire landscape around you. And I really wanted that in this build. And I was like, I need to put it in. But then I also knew that I wanted like a big open staircase in that living space. And that's exactly how this room was kind of born, I guess. Like, I was looking for different window designs to use for that main part, and yeah, I think I combined a few into one. Like this house, it's basically a combination of, I don't know, like 15 different houses. So I'm really glad to actually call this house, well, my own for that reason, because, it's just in architecture, you combine different pieces together and then you make your own house. And like, I'm really happy with the floor plan. I really like the whole concept of the dining room being right behind the stairs. At first I didn't really know that I wanted that, but it just slowly kind of happened. It just slowly turned out to be like that, and I wasn't really mad at the final product, to say the least. But for the staircase, I was aiming for something a lot more modern. It's not the widest staircase, however, I do like it. Yeah, as you can see, it has like some metal in it, which that metal, it's kind of scattered around the entire house, and it's like an accent across the entire place, obviously. And then another thing that you're gonna see me do in just a second are these lanterns. Lanterns, it's more just like a really big chandelier. And I think I saw it in this one Pinterest picture where they were used in like a living room, but I was like, no, I need these in the foyer. And I did them, and they turned out to look so cute. Obviously, I couldn't put in candles in every single one of the lanterns, so I kind of balanced them out across the entire chandelier, I guess. That way the lighting was sort of balanced. And yeah, I remember I did have issues with the railing. Not that they were issues, they were just really annoying to do because I couldn't find the right railing for the house. So I was like, no, I'm gonna make my custom ones, and that's how I did these. As you can see, they were very painful to make, but also kind of worth it. So yeah, I'm happy with how they turned out. But for kids, this is a safety hazard in a way if you do look at it like that, because yeah, it's really easy to fall off. Like, if you accidentally slip or something and you somehow end up going through those railings, you're gonna be dead. But, you know, just remember not to. Thankfully, in Bloxburg, you can't die because of these things, so it's safe, but in real life, this wouldn't be safe. But there's a very easy solution to that, so yeah, don't worry. And yeah, I think right now I'll be starting to do those lanterns, or not. No. Wow, the birds are actually so loud. I hope it doesn't really bother you too much. Yeah, but yeah, here you can see me just doing the huge logs. And I remember trying my best to put in as many like these ski chalet or just like cabin accents to make sure it gives off the right vibe. And yeah, I'm really happy with how I managed to kind of mix like the whole cabin style and then make it very modern and chic in a way. So yeah, this is definitely like a mansion that like a celebrity would rent out for their like skiing vacation, you know, like maybe the Kardashians. I think Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner both rented out this mansion in Aspen, and I think that was like kind of the vibe I wanted to go for with this house. I mean, mine turned out to be slightly different, but it's still kind of like the similar vibe. You know, it's very big, obviously, it's huge, it's modern, maybe a bit more rustic compared to that one, but yeah, they're both similar-ish. And I think that was my main idea when I first started to work on this. I really hope I never mentioned this, and I don't think I did, which is I don't remember. Maybe I just forgot to say it. I think I did, but basically, yeah, that was like kind of my main inspiration with this build. Although I didn't even look at it as like while I was building this, I just kind of had that image in my head and was like, okay, wait, I want something like this. And yeah, and then we ended up having this. Like I said, very happy with it again. And right now you can see me working on the floors. And one thing that I think really helped this place in general were the custom floors on the main level. If I had more plot data, I probably would have done it on the basement floor as well. Well, technically, because it's not technically the basement. The main level is technically the second floor in the game. But yeah, I would have done the custom floors in the basement as well, but obviously, plot data is an issue, and it always has been with builds like these. Or actually, not anymore. Like, even with smaller builds, plot data is becoming an issue to me, and I'm just like, what the hell? It's like, you know, before it was my biggest enemy, and honestly, nothing has changed. It's still something I hate very much, and just, I don't like plot data. But I mean, in reality, do we all love it? No, we don't. No one loves it. Exactly. I mean, a lot of people actually don't care about it because, well, not everyone really maxes out their plot data. It's just a thing that Float and I do constantly, so. But I don't. I just love detail, you know? It's heart-loving detail. It is really heart-loving detail, but it is what it is. Jokes aside, has there been a single voiceover where I haven't complained about plot data? Probably not. But I mean, if you guys didn't enjoy it, then you wouldn't probably be here, so hey. We just don't like plot data here. You know, join the hate club with us. Like, if you're new, join the plot data hate club. Honestly, we love everyone who hates plot data. It's just the way it is. But one thing that I just can't wrap my head around is the fact that this is part 4 of this build and I'm just getting to the interior. I don't think I've ever had a build like that. It just shows how massive this build is. I mean, in all fairness, like, square footage wise, this build is probably the biggest one I've ever done. It may only be 5 bedrooms, but the rooms are literally massive and every single room is huge. But to be honest, I think it's a good thing. Like, I'd rather have much bigger bedrooms than just, I don't know, small bedrooms. Like, I'd rather have 5 big bedrooms than 8 small ones. You know what I mean? That's always what you really need to think about. It's the space. So, my bedrooms don't always end up being big. So, that's an issue I'm trying to work on. Like, actually, in all of my builds, I've been trying my best to see and plan out the spaces better than I used to. Like, I don't want a tiny bedroom. Actually, I'd much rather have a spacious one where it's comfortable to be in to roleplay in general. Anyways, as you can also see, the walls, the wall decal actually kind of set the mood for the space really well. Because, I don't know, I just thought that wood is obviously something very common to just cabins in general, so I knew that it was a must to feature them somewhere. And I thought, why don't I actually just do them? Like, why don't I actually just use them on the wall, you know? Because at first I was thinking maybe white walls, but then I was like, wait, why don't I just use wood? So it took me a while to find the right decal. I kid you not, I remember taking so long looking for the right decal and going through different websites and just looking at wall patterns until I found something I liked. And then, yeah, I found something that I like texture-wise, but I still didn't like the color, so I'm really glad that we can now paint the decals. And yeah, I didn't really need to bother about the color because it just could, you know, make my own in the game. So that's a very nice feature that I do appreciate very much. But yeah, I think I'm actually nearing the end of like working on architectural details. Soon I'll be moving on to furniture, which I feel like is exactly what made this space. It's obviously very spacious and furniture completed it. I mean, furniture always does that, so what am I even saying at this point? And here you can see me figuring out what I want to do upstairs, I'm pretty sure, what kind of texture I should go for the floor. And then I just ended up going with linen. Out of all the choices. I mean, do I regret it? No. No, because it did look fine. Like, I like how it turned out. Honestly, I don't post things that I don't like, so, but you guys already know that. I'm such a perfectionist. It's a curse and it's a blessing. Because I put myself through so much pain to make things perfect. But then it also turns out to look really nice. So, you know, it's worth it. It definitely is. I mean, I'd say so, right? Yeah, it definitely is. I actually don't remember if I've mentioned this before. I feel like I have, but I'm just gonna repeat myself. Whatever. I remember when I built this, we still had when I started doing the interior, we still had the blue fog, which really helped this build, like, look-wise. It just looked so much better with the blue fog. And I remember I was so upset when it just got removed and I didn't even finish half of the interior and it was just gone, so I needed to do it without it. I made it work, but I kind of wish we still had the fog. I mean, it was such an annoying feature, but then I liked it so much because of this build, and it got removed and I was sad and everyone else was happy. But you know, I have my reasons as to why I liked it, and so no one can judge me. Nope, absolutely not. It's because it looked good with this build, on this build. And it did, and you can see in the speed build yourself. And like, even with furniture, like the furniture looked so much nicer with the blue fog as well. I don't understand why or how it just did. And yeah, and speaking of furniture, I think I just started working on it. I think I'm working on my first piece, which was this bench thing. I think I saw it on Pinterest, or yeah, it's kind of like I think I saw this like designer inspired furniture collection, and I just knew I had to use it in this build. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the pieces that I saw, and I was like, wait, this would look so good in the foyer. And I guess it is kind of the statement piece of the foyer, besides the chandelier, obviously. Because, well, you walk in and that's like literally the first thing you see is that bench. And bench, couch, it's like a mix. As you can see, I was also struggling to put it in because of the decals, the floor decals. But, you know, they were there for a reason. They look really good, and I don't regret putting them in there, no matter how hard it was to make it work with furniture. Another thing that I'm really glad that I managed to fit into this house is that big door, that big front door, because I always see them in mansions, and I always think that I want to make them, and I'm like, wait, they look so cool and good, and they do. But I just never have a house where I could use them, and I saw this as such a good as like a really good opportunity to finally do that, and I'm just so glad I actually took the opportunity, and I made it work. Obviously, the door is really fat, like it's really big, it's huge, it's probably so heavy too. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was as heavy as like a vault door. I think that's how you pronounce it. I really hope it's the way you pronounce it, because you guys tend to, you know, always correct me if I mispronounce something. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's as heavy as a vault door. So honestly, it's kind of sad I didn't get to do a vault in this house in general, because there was space for one. I actually have more rooms planned originally, but obviously plot data was an issue, so I barely made it work. If I had done more rooms, I probably wouldn't have been able to finish this house. I barely finished it anyways. I remember I was honestly, I wasn't crying, but I was on the verge of, maybe I did even cry once about this house because I was running out plot data and I couldn't make it work. But then somehow I pulled myself together and finished it. I definitely mentioned that before because, well, it's definitely something to talk about, you know? Just like, I don't feel like anyone probably has cried over a Bloxburg build before. Well, maybe they have, but definitely not over plot data. Well, I did, so I officially claim to be the first person who has cried over plot data. Okay, maybe not, I actually don't know, but I did cry, and it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. But while I'm working on the foyer, why don't I actually give you guys a fun story time that didn't happen that long ago? It's a pretty recent one. Actually, as recent as of yesterday. Yeah, basically, it was a very awkward and an embarrassing situation for me, which I just knew that I had to tell you guys. Purely just so you don't have this happen to you, because I would never wish that upon you, honestly. As someone who very much hates awkward situations, this was, oh my god, no. It hurts to even remember it, let me put it that way. But basically, it was, well, it was the morning. I had plans with my friends, and we wanted to go ice skating, and the way the ice rink works is it has different opening times, and you're supposed to make it to one of them, and yeah. And we set like a time for, you know, our session. It's cheaper in the morning, so we were like, okay, let's go in the morning. And I was like, fine. The thing with me is sometimes I like to oversleep, and that was my main mistake, which I shouldn't have done. But I always run late. It's a known thing. I'm always late. I can't explain why, it just happens to me. But basically, because I overslept, I was really late, and I thought that I wouldn't make it on time to the ice rink, and I'm pretty sure if you don't make it on time, they don't let you in. So everyone was waiting on me, so I was like, crap, I need to hurry up. So I got ready really quickly, and everything was fine. I actually really liked my outfit that day, which is also kind of like a huge part of this story time. I really like my outfit that day. I put on this like shirt that I have never worn before. I don't know why. I just never did, and I was like, okay, well, it's hot outside, so let me just wear that. And I also, because it was like a blue and a white striped shirt, I thought that white pants would look good next to it, and so I put on my white cargo pants that I also really like. And yeah, like I also put in like my white shoes, like it was a pretty good outfit, let me tell you. And I also just kind of ran outside, like I ran to the bus stop with my hair wet and stuff, but that doesn't really matter, it's fine. It's because it's summer here. It's like 30 plus degrees every single afternoon, so my hair just dried almost immediately. And because I was late, I was obviously rushing to the bus, which isn't even really close to where I live, because the bus stops that are near me, the bus routes, they're not really the best. They don't usually take me to the places where I need, or I need to wait ages for them. So I usually just go to the bus stops that are further down the street. And yeah, that's exactly what I needed to do. So I walked down to, it was like a 15-minute walk, right? It was nothing. It was like, okay, fine. And I had a choice to either wait for the bus just to get to the next stop, or take a quicker route by using an electric scooter. Basically, in my city, maybe people who live in Vilnius know. I don't know if I have any subscribers who are from Vilnius, but we have these like electric scooters that you can basically just easily rent out, like via apps like Uber. It's not Uber, but it's like the Lithuanian Uber. So basically, yeah. So we call them Bolt scooters. So it's just like a green scooter, and you scan, like, you open the app, you scan the QR code, and then it charges you like, what, 13 cents per minute? So, and once you end the ride, it just charges you for however long you spent driving. And like, it's very easy and convenient to use, obviously. So I was like, yeah, what do I have to lose? It's just a lot more efficient, I guess, to use the scooter instead of waiting for the bus. So I just did it, and okay, I hopped on the scooter. Everything was fine for maybe 10 seconds. And you don't really drive that fast. Well, it's like electric scooters don't go that fast. Like, what, 20 kilometers per hour? I have no idea what that is in miles. For my American viewers, I'll look it up. 2 miles. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's like 12 miles. So you see, they're not miles per hour. They're not quick at all. Well, I guess it depends. But basically, while I was driving, I think something happened to my shirt, and while I was fixing it, I ended up falling off the scooter into a ditch. Yeah. And as bad and as embarrassing that already is, it just, there were so many more things that made it so much worse than it could have been. First of all, I fell right in front of a stranger, and like they saw everything. I think they were like on their morning jog or something, and they just saw like a random kid fall off a scooter into a ditch. Also, another thing I should probably mention is that before I fell off, like 2 hours prior, it was raining, so the ditch was all muddy, and like I said, I was wearing white clothes, so my pants, somehow, thankfully, I got the dirt off of them. My shirt, however, I ripped it, so yeah, I'm not gonna wear it ever again. I had to kind of throw out because, well, I ripped my shirt, so it was honestly just amazing. And after the impact, I don't know, I was laying there for like, I don't know, 10 seconds or so with my headphones in, and I have like the noise cancellation headphones in. So the stranger came up to me, was like asking me if everything's okay, and I assumed they were Lithuanian, which they weren't. So I basically told them that I was okay in Lithuanian, well, like in my foreign language, not in my foreign, in my native language. And turns out they weren't. So I looked like a fool because I was like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm fine" in Lithuanian, but they didn't understand me. And then I only realized that they weren't 20 seconds after when I took out my headphones. And then they were like, they basically told me to be careful. And I was like, "Oh yeah, like thank you." I said something like that, but it was so awkward. And yeah, once I got out of the ditch, I decided I need to go back and change. So I actually walked back home. So it was like a 50-minute walk back home. Then I changed and I needed to walk back. So it was wonderful. And because of this whole accident and incident, my friends had to wait for me, and we had to go to like a later time on the ice rink. But I had a lot of fun on the ice rink. We had fun. So you know, at least there's that. But I didn't have fun with like the whole experience. I never thought I'd be the one to actually just fall off that scooter, because I was like, how? Like I was always like wondering how people fall off of these things. Now I know. It's very easy, let me tell you. But it was also freaking funny. I mean, it is funny, you have to say. Did I feel embarrassed though? Absolutely. But as soon as this happened, I was like, this is such a good story for a voiceover. But yeah, it's also kind of just sad that, you know, this happened. Like, seriously, out of all the people... No, like, out of all the times it had to happen when I was in a rush. Like, seriously? Come on. But I suppose my reasoning behind telling you this story is to be more careful with electric scooters, because they're dangerous. So whether you have one or maybe you're renting one, just be careful. Please, I'm begging you. Don't try to fix your shirt while you're driving, or biking. Just don't do it, because you're gonna regret it eventually. Because the shirt, well, you're either gonna have to throw it out or maybe wash it a couple of times, because mud doesn't always come off really easily. You know, just don't. Yeah, please have this story in mind while you're driving. That way you don't, you know, actually end up in a ditch like me. The ironic thing is the fact that when I was, you know, going to the bus stop the second time, on my second attempt, I still used the same scooter and I took the same route. But I didn't fall or, you know, end up in a ditch, so that was nice at least. I'm thankful nothing else happened in that day, so, you know, I got back home safe and with no injuries. Well, technically I did have like a minor injury, but it was like just a small bruise on my arm. It could have been worse, in all fairness. So yeah, I guess that's like a fun story time. I had a lot of fun yesterday because of that. But I mean, my friends were kind of laughing at me. And I understand why, because I'd probably laugh too if something like this happened to someone I know. It's also a lesson for me to be more careful. I hope a lesson for you too, but at this point I'm just repeating myself. Yeah, but while I was telling you guys the story time, I actually ended up finishing the foyer. I really like this carpet because it brought a lot of contrast to the space. You know, with all like the warm colors, that rug kind of gives the whole space that pop of color that was needed to complete it. So I'm really happy that I did the rug. And I think it's one of the Studio McGee rugs, and I have a bunch of decals of them and I love them all so much. Like, they add so much to your spaces, so definitely a must to use. I mean, I leave the codes of the decals in the video, so, you know, if you want to use any of them, any of the ones that I use, they're all in the videos in the speed builds. So feel free, honestly, because they do add a lot to your space. But then another topic I should probably bring up is the new update, because it did just come out today, I think. To me, it was kind of unexpected. I logged on for what, like the first time in maybe 2 weeks, and I just see that there's a new update. So, and I mean, did I like the update? Actually, I kind of find it cute. You know, it's not the biggest update, it's not the smallest. We got a new car, which was honestly really nice to see. And yeah, the Beetles, they're cute. I think the cars are going to be really good for like vintage builds in general. Like if you're making a cottage or something, like it's going to be such a good addition to your like whole aesthetic, I guess. So I'm excited to see what people use the cars for. And I've already seen like a lot of cute posts on Instagram with just like the cars, like the cool houses, and just like that beetle in the background. Yeah, it actually turned out to look, yeah, the posts turned out to look really cute. What else was added? Oh right, the pools, the inflatable pools for suburban houses. That is such a good like item. I feel like I'm definitely gonna use them in the future. Obviously don't really have suburban houses to use them for yet, but the future has a lot of things to offer, so I do have a feeling that yeah, I'm definitely gonna use them at least once. So I'm excited to see what I end up doing with them. And then another thing that I really like, I mean, we kind of had it, like we were able to make that thing before, but now we actually have the item for it, which is the new staircase. What basically, it's a staircase that you can go under, but it's not see-through anymore. So it's very good for like traditional builds. I don't know what the exact name of it is, but it's going to be very useful for like traditional builds, like townhouses, because you can make more classic builds and then still have basements with those kind of stairs. And I really like that. I honestly did really like that, and I respect Coeptus and Froggy for listening to us and, you know, listening to what we actually want and what we need. So it was definitely like a nice addition to see, I guess. Oh, and then the bush with the flowers, the blooming bush, I think that's what it's called. That was so cute. Actually adorable. I think a change that they also made is that they made the time go slower now. But for example, at night, if everyone is asleep in the server, the nighttime will go by faster. So that's like a really cool addition for role players. I mean, if I was a role player, it's kind of like The Sims, I think. I think it's like that in The Sims. So, you know, I don't know. These changes, they're small, but they're still pretty cool. So I'm glad that we kind of have that in the game now. And I'm really excited to see how people who roleplay will use that feature. And I'm just excited to do more summer builds with those items. So yes, there will be some. And I actually have like kind of like a cool series in mind that I really want to do. And if you like now, I actually do have the time for it, because I finished with school on Thursday. Thursday was technically my last day. I still have like one last exam, but you know, compared to all of the schoolwork I had to do, that exam is kind of nothing. So I can officially say that I'm kind of like on my break and stuff. And I'm just really excited to finally get back into posting and maybe doing more builds. Because I miss posting, I miss you guys, I miss a lot. And yeah, like you see, I came back right on an update, so it's nice to see that. It is nice to see that. But before I get into anything else, I remember really loving these chairs. I know The Sims. I know I have CC of these chairs in The Sims, and I just knew I needed to make them. I think I saw them on Pinterest. I'm pretty sure they have like a specific name. Isn't it like a wishbone chair? I think that's what they're called. But I remember being so proud of how they turn out to be, because it's kind of like a designer furniture piece. And it just looks so good. It does look really good, doesn't it? Like what I really like doing in Bloxburg is just recreating designer furniture pieces that I have on The Sims. Because, I don't know, the furniture usually looks good. And then we have this like ottoman. I wanted to balance out the space, so instead of, you know, doing the chairs all around the table, I thought that maybe it would be a nice change to add that ottoman. So, you know, you would switch it up a bit. But this table, I think, can seat 8 people, so it's a pretty decent size. I mean, it could be bigger, but then, I don't know, I like it. I like its size. You're probably not gonna have more than 8 people sitting at the table at once anyways, so, you know, it's kind of functional. Here's me moving the table though, because I think I put it too close to the railing, and I wanted to space it out a little bit. But I also really like the fact that this whole dining room, it's kind of like under that bridge. So it feels like a separate room to the living room. In that way, it's kind of like a good balance between spaces in general. So, you know, if you're looking to split up spaces, sometimes having a bridge under one of the rooms is actually like a really good way to solve the issue. And then it all looks like a lot cleaner, and just there's like a balance in general, obviously. And lastly, before I go, I actually want to tell you guys about something that I did today, which I am kind of not necessarily proud of. I mean, just a little bit. I finally managed to do the custom trees with the decals, with those see-through decals. I remember talking about them, maybe not in the previous voiceover, but I don't know, voiceover from like a month ago, where I saw different people use the transparent decals to make their bushes and custom trees, and I really wanted to try it out myself, and I finally got the opportunity to do so, and it doesn't look that bad, doesn't look too shabby, let me tell you. I'm excited for you guys to see the build that I'm working on. It is not something I usually do on my channel, which is a nice change, I know. And yeah, well, it has the custom trees. One thing I have to say is they're so freaking expensive. I paid 40k for a single tree. So, budget-wise, it's not going to be the cheapest build, but it is going to be unique. I want to call it unique, because it is unique. Those who know, mainly my friends, but you guys will see it. I don't know, hopefully soon. Since I'm on my break, I now have a lot more free time, so I'm just, I don't know. The past few days, I've been doing nothing but working, and I've missed, I don't know, just working on YouTube videos so much, so I'm just happy I now can finally do it. But yeah, I guess maybe I'll just sign off here. It's not the longest voiceover, so my apologies for that. But you know, I'm still slowly getting back into the rhythm. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you all in the next voiceover, which is probably going to be part 5 of this same build, because we need to finish posting this. I need to finish posting this, obviously. And a lot of you probably want to finish building this house, so why don't I just make it easy for everyone? But yeah, so I guess until next time, take care and goodbye.
it's all lies. If you want good, change your mind, yeah. Don't want to intimidate, but more than just conversate. Don't want it to be too late, yeah. Know that I'm not usually your type. Darling, there's no need to be shy. See the curiosity in your eyes. Come a little closer, babe. I don't bite. And it's something that I can't hide, yeah. When I'm with you, I'm tongue-tied. I know you're not that dramatic, but I'm out of you, I'm an addict. I can't get enough. And I know that I'm not usually your type. Darling, there's no need to be shy. See the curiosity in your eyes. Come a little closer, babe. I don't bite.
I've got something for you, and I can hardly breathe. Something draws me to you, it's taking over me. Don't know where you came from, but you're cutting deep. When the music's over, will you come with me? Tell me you can feel it, though we're oceans apart. I've got love for you, I've got love for you, and I know this magic sparks inside who we are. I've got love for you. hoping you could fix these broken seams. Floating through the puzzles and the endless screens. Well, I've got something for you, and it's cutting deep. Now the music's over. Will you come with me? Tell me you can feel it, though we're oceans apart. I've got a love for you. I've got a love for you. I know this magic sparks inside who we are. I've got a love for you. I've got a love for you.
It's the opener trying to cross the sea. But it's broken like a minor symphony. I'm gonna ask you for your heart. Try and let it be the fall within our stars. And if we fall
distance. I thought we were better. We can try to just hide from the pain by building our castle. We can build them again and again, and we can feel nothing. And I know that you're feeling alone, and we can do better. So help me to break through the stone. Help me to break through. Something losing our vision, but we can't just let it consume us. We can try to just hide from the pain by building our castle. We can build them again and again, and we can feel nothing. And I know that you're feeling alone, and we can do better. So help me to break through the stone. Help me to break through.
In my head like a melody, laying back in this bed, playing back what you said, and it's not really helping me. Coming down from this high is a dangerous ride. I'm coasting, out of body floating, lost in my emotions. I've been spinning slowly, trying to keep my head above water. Then you go and pull me under. Crazy thing, I know I'm done for, stuck in this state of wonder. State of wonder.